Have you ever wished that you could put your World of Warcraft experience on your resume or CV? Well, just show this video to your boss along with it, and they're probably more likely to accept that as some sort of experience. Let's see what that means. Let's do this. Good morning, Internet, and welcome to another MMO Anthropology. This is Amorist. I'm in the World of Warcraft in the Mists of Pandaria expansion to talk to you about a recent study that was undertaken in order to look at how playing video games such as this, especially MMORPGs and highly social experiences, changes the way that people operate together and how that can be translated into work spheres. I mentioned earlier that you might want to tell your boss about this or put it on your resume, and this is how. Also, this is an actual anthropology essay. This is an abstract that I'm going to read from, which means that I get to geek out. Well, okay, maybe a little bit. Then I'm going to tone it down so that everyone understands what the hell's being said. I'm going to butcher these names because I'm not really sure how to pronounce them, but this is a paper by Dr. Savas Giannidi and Deponia Xanthopoulou. This is from the abstract, basically. In this one-month longitudinal study, we examined how participating in massively multiplayer online role-playing games affects users' real-life employment. For 79 employees, that's a pretty good number, we tested spillover effects from the gaming-to-work relation to active learning and transformational leadership. We'll get into that later. Furthermore, we investigated the moderating role of game performance in these spillover effects. Essentially what that means is, when people did really well in raids and etc. in World of Warcraft, it had a high influence, and when they did badly, it had a very low influence. Results supported the direct spillover of transformational leadership, as well as the boosting effect of high game performance in the spillover effect. These results provide further insights with regard to spillover processes and suggest that virtual games may be of relevance for the development of new organizational training techniques. Now, for everyone else who's, bored like my panda probably is with this sort of language, there's an article in the UK Huffington Post right now which has this salient point to make. Following a sample of employees who were also gamers, the research revealed that playing massively multiplayer role-playing games can have beneficial effects for real-life work through the transmission of virtually practiced leadership skills and active learning behaviors. In the achievement-oriented world of MMORPGs, many of the combat-related activities needed to gain points, solve quests, or enhance social capital of an avatar hold similarities to common work tasks. Now let's get away from here for a moment. One of the things that I think is an excellent takeaway of this is that many people have discovered that when they lead a guild, that there's a lot of leadership opportunities there. You have to introduce yourself to a lot of people, you have to develop roles for the various people in the guild, especially extremely large ones. And not only that, raiding itself. I mean, we look at things like 25-man raids in Wrath of the Lich King, and the more that are coming in Mists of Pandaria require more than just a single individual leader guiding a group through an instance, but practiced cooperative play where lieutenants are required sometimes to lead the healers, to watch what the DPS is up to, and so forth. I also mentioned that I might briefly talk about what's related to as, back here, the transformative spillover effect, or at least the moderating influence, which is to say that when people do really, really well, say in a raid or something like that, when their leadership abilities lead to everyone thinking that they did an awesome job, their leadership in a work environment goes up. They develop ideas on how they should get people to work together, what they should do to get them to do things in appropriate manners, and etc. But when people do really badly, and by this I mean I'm sure that everyone here has been in one of those raids where everybody died 3 times, like 3 wipes in a row through a night. Switch going back in again and again and again, and finally fizzling out on a massive boss. And this had a moderating effect rather than a negative effect, meaning that instead of lowering their leadership anticipations at work, it just weakened the amount of transformative effect that was spilled over to their job. So in a way, with this sort of research on the table, and I will link to you to the Huffington Post article that I quoted from and the paper itself, although if you don't have a JSTOR account or $40, you can't really get it. You could use that to prop up a reason why you should tell your boss about the fact that you're a gamer and that you're part of a guild, especially if you have a lieutenant or a leadership position. Because in a lot of ways, the same management processes that go into making raids successful go into making our work lives successful. And this is something that I've always seen, especially from virtual worlds such as this. Right now, there are numerous guilds who have been gearing up since the beta in order to be one of the world first downs on some of the huge bosses. And that's one hell of an achievement. Frankly, even as an old crotchety boss, I would find myself a little bit impressed of a member, especially the leader of a guild who took out a world first or a server first or whatever in World of Warcraft. Meanwhile, I'm interested in what your experiences have been, both in the Mists of Pandaria, in World of Warcraft in general. What do you think about incorporating what you learned being a raid leader or even a guild master in World of Warcraft or any other video game into your experience as a person who works at maybe even a corporate environment, even a small shop? I mean, a great deal of us are into IT or into computers. There are those of us that aren't. I mean, I know people in this game who are artists. I know people who are in print design. I have a friend who works with sewage and waste management. An excellent warlock, by the way. Now, let me know what your experience is. If you've been having fun in World of Warcraft, if you have taken a look at Mists of Pandaria. In the meantime, have fun out there. Good night, and good dreams. If you've made it this far, hopefully I've earned your like, and I would like to direct you to look at another one of my videos about ethics in social and virtual spaces, which is about an attack or a raid on a funeral held in the World of Warcraft. You can see the video link right there. Meanwhile, please, if you're interested in more content like this, be sure to subscribe, and as usual, like, comment, and subscribe, because, well, pandas are cute!